Begin by safely jacking up and supporting your car. Please see the link at the end of this video for additional assistance. With the car safely off the ground, you will need to remove the engine tray. There are 6 8mm bolts, as indicated by the red arrows, holding the tray on. The rear 2 also help hold the transmission tray. Use an 8mm socket and remove the bolts, yellow arrow. Remove the remaining 4 bolts, red arrows. If you have not removed the engine tray, you will need to remove the 2 bolts that hold both the engine and transmission tray on, yellow arrows. There is an oxygen sensor connector holder, red arrow, attached to the oil pan right above the drain plug. It is best to move it out of the way first. On the left rear of the oil pan, you will find the 13mm drain plug, yellow arrow. Use a wrench and remove it. Remember, the oil is going to be hot coming out of the motor, so make sure you don't burn yourself and try not to drop the drain plug in the container you are using to catch the oil. Always dispose of used motor oil in accordance with the regulations where you live. Never pour it into a drain, into the road, or into the ground. Most oil change shops and your neighborhood parts store will take your old oil and filter to be recycled properly. Once the oil has emptied, reinstall the drain plug with a new crush washer, yellow arrow. I always like to make sure I reinstall the drain plug before I start working on the top of the engine, just so I don't forget it later. Reinstall the engine tray. Some people like to reinstall the engine tray last because they want to check for leaks after everything is completed. Move to the engine compartment where you will find the oil filter housing as well as the oil filler cap. The oil filter is contained in the oil filter housing, red arrow. It is located behind the air filter box right by the firewall. Place your 27mm socket over the filter housing, red arrow, and loosen it. With the filter housing loose, you can pull it straight up and out of the engine. Be careful as it will be covered in oil and has a tendency to drip. Slide the old filter, red arrow, off and inspect it for any metal. There are 3 separate rubber O-rings or gaskets on the filter holder. Thankfully, they are all different sizes and will only fit in one spot. Yellow arrows. Use a little of your new clean oil to help get the new O-rings in place. Slide the new filter on and insert the filter back into the housing, tightening the top of the filter cover. Refill the oil through the filler cap on the top of the motor. Start the engine and let it run for a moment and then turn it off. Check the engine oil level and top up as necessary. Thanks for watching. Click here to view the original article along with hundreds of other DIY content for your car.